Namaskar, I am Wing Commander Rakesh Kumar Prashar. I had the honor of being addressed a question by Mr. KAUSHAL Pandey, Chief HSE Manager at Sterlite Power on LinkedIn last week. His question was, safety management is more reactive nowadays. HERA is done as a proactive approach, but the controls decided are mostly administrative and PPE rather than elimination, substitution and engineering. Both administrative and PP controls are prone to human error and deliberate violations which result in accidents. After accidents, the management becomes reactive and revisits HERA and again repeats the same mistake while deciding controls. And this circle goes on and on and on an endless round. What are your views on this? KAUSHAL, in answer to your question, let me start by spelling out the definition of management, which is the process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling the resources and activities of an organization to achieve specific goals in the most effective and efficient manner possible. This translates to the fact that we only manage something which is meaningful or significant to us. Therefore, if you're talking of safety management, it means that safety is important to us. I therefore personally believe that safety management is always proactive by default. If it is only reactive, then it is only a pretense of safety, not safety. Having said that, I would like to preface my answer with the fact that no business can flourish if the foundation is laid on unethical practices. While all employers have a legal and moral responsibility to keep people safe, what can be more ethical, upright, principled, righteous, and even moral than keeping the lives of the people who make our dreams come true safe at all times? Hazard identification and risk assessment, which is a process of identifying all situations that have a potential for injury, illness, or even damage to a plant or property or environment, is a step in this direction. Just like life without discipline and ethics will be chaotic and disastrous, likewise, any business enterprise without discipline and ethics will also be chaotic and disastrous. In this context, I am reminded of the 1759 book by Adam Smith, The Theory of Moral Sentiments, in which he explains how moral values lay the foundation for the success of any individual or system. Taking cue from this, I would like to add that one basic philosophy on which the tenets of safety rest is that human life is sacrosanct. I have always believed that profits are to business what breathing is to life, which means that profits are the ultimate goal of any business, but not at the cost of human lives. Given the fact that the workplace environment presents a unique set of hazards which one may not be exposed to as a matter of routine, chances of an unplanned, unexpected and undesirable event happening to anyone, anytime and anywhere are far greater in the workplace than elsewhere. We need to appreciate the fact that while eliminating the hazards is the ultimate goal of any organization, it can be extremely difficult and may not always be possible. Remember, an organization is a collection of people with different cultural backgrounds, knowledge, experience, skill sets, and even understanding. Since workplace hazards can be well identified, adequately risk assessed, and appropriately controlled, accidents can therefore be contained to a very great extent. However, while all accidents can be prevented theoretically, this is not possible in reality. Even the most advanced countries as well as the safest organizations in the world are not able to eliminate accidents completely. While your question talks in terms of two approaches in safety management in line with the general belief, proactive and reactive, let me talk of each of them in short. Number one, in proactive risk management, safety concerns are identified so that the occurrence of any unfortunate event could be stopped. In simple terms, You are looking for areas where you could make your activities safer. Proactive risk management strategies include lead indicator monitoring, which includes inspections, safety audits, toolbox talks, safety training, equipment or plant maintenance, etc. etc. This is the highest form of risk management, which will not only help to prevent accidents but also help develop a positive safety culture. Number two, in reactive risk management, safety concerns are overlooked and actions are taken only as a knee-jerk reaction after the occurrence of an unfortunate event. This often means that you are taking action under pressure, either internally or externally, from insurance companies, clients, or even stakeholders. As such, this is the lowest form of risk management and is also indicative of the fact that safety is not a premeditated effort, though not always. It is important to appreciate here that both proactive and reactive risk management strategies cannot always be seen in isolation, as they are complementary to each other. But I personally believe that there is another risk management approach apart from proactive and reactive approach, and that is what I call the preemptive risk management strategy. While the preemptive risk management strategy may to some extent be confused with proactive risk management, I feel this is much more than that, as it is concerned with identifying threats in future hypothetical scenarios and putting in place much needed controls even before the commencement of the project. I would like to reiterate here that the hierarchy of controls should be introduced at the beginning of a project or beginning of a new plan and not as an afterthought. What I basically mean to say is that any project can be divided into two parts: conception and execution. The elimination, substitution, and engineering controls are most effective if thought of and implemented in the conception stage. While the goal of elimination and substitution is to physically remove the hazard or replace a hazardous product or process with a safer one, the goal of engineering controls is to isolate the people from the hazard. These can not only be very useful in reducing risk exposure from day one of operations, but also improve morale of workers, thus enhancing safety performance. Once the project has been implemented, then changing designs as an afterthought may not only be impractical, but also extremely expensive. Hence, once the project has commenced, the general focus is on administrative controls and PPE. Having said that, let me add here that hazard identification and risk assessment is a living document, a continuous process which needs to be implemented in all earnestness and not just as a one-time affair or a formality to be completed only on paper. A healthy and robust safety management system should actually be a balance of all these three approaches, as each by itself may not yield the desired safety results. Having a well-balanced safety management system using these three approaches will not only lessen the chances of an accident occurring, but also send a positive message to the workers that the management cares about their safety, which will in turn lead to effective employee engagement in safety. Being proactive in our approach to safety, both in the conception and execution stages of our projects, means that we will be able to prevent most accidents. But for that to actually become true, safety will have to move from paper to people. After all, paper doesn't save people, people save people. We are all aware that human factor is responsible for almost 98% of all accidents. This could be in the form of either human errors, which are unintentional actions that can happen to even the most experienced or even the most well-trained persons, or violations, which are intentional failures, that is one of the biggest causes of accidents and injuries at work. All of this translates to the fact that however good your systems, surprises may happen any time. Sadly, we do not have a crystal ball with us, which will enable us to gaze either into the minds of the people or the future of our organization and stop all accidents. I personally believe that proactive safety management is a measurement of success and reactive safety management is a measurement of failure of our safety initiatives. This calls for not only changing the behavior but also the attitude of all, right from the top management down to the grassroots level workers. This calls for love to be your guiding emotion to enable safety, not fear. This calls for care to be your guiding sentiment to enable safety, not compliance. This also calls for changing our focus from profits to people, because if our focus is on profits, our approach may shift to reactive and our people may move away from us. But if our focus is on people, our approach will always be proactive and profits will automatically be attracted towards us. While we may save some money initially by not investing in safety, but in the long term, reactive safety measures are bound to be more costly, because you will not only have to do what you should have done in the first place, but also incur extra costs apart from spending time, energy, effort and resources associated with the after effects of an accident. Sustaining your proactive safety management will not only help us improve safety but also minimize disruptions and improve both productivity and profitability. We therefore need to do our best always but still be prepared for the worst. Hence, the continuous focus on ensuring effective supervision, training, inspections, safety audits, toolbox talks, etc. I wish to close with the statement that there is room for both proactive and reactive safety management within all organizations. But the better your proactive safety management becomes, the less reactive requirements you would have. Do let me know in the comment section, Kaushal, if I have been able to answer your query. I look forward to more and more questions to answer in the future episodes of our organic safety. Namaskar. Jai Hind.